Well, thank you guys for joining Real Estate with Ryan every week. If you guys don't know me, my name is Ryan Coleman, and I'm here always with my lovely co-host, April Coleman.
Hello, but not always.
Most of the time I am. Really excited to have April here.
Yes.
It's hard doing it by yourself. It's a lot of work, guys. Glad to have her here and in the building. So thank you for joining Real Estate with Ryan, where every week we're going to talk about real estate, right?
That's right.
Just real estate? Politics?
Not politics.
No. What else we
No
talk
politics.
about?
Anything.
Relationships?
A little bit.
No. Hey, we just stick to the real estate, but you never know what we might talk about. How about those Vols?
That's
How about those
right.
Vols?
We could talk about a little bit of sports.
Now, the day this airs, it's going to air on Saturday. We might be somewhere.
We may.
We may just be, if you see us downtown
What? Oh, yeah.
at the game, West Virginia.
I know.
We're going. So if you see us, say hi, guys. Awesome to have our Vols ranked #1 in the country in men's
That's right.
basketball. Salute to them for all that they're doing. So proud to be a Tennessean.
I know.
East Tennessee,
I know.
football, basketball. That's why we love this place, guys. And there's so much going on. We talk about it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Buyers, sellers, why are you coming to East Tennessee? And we see so many people from across the country move here.
Yes.
For no taxes, best places to retire,
Mm-hmm.
kids, school, family, lakes.
You name it.
And now just those Vols, man.
I know.
There really is no better place, and we're always blessed to have an opportunity to sell real estate and be part of that process.
Yes.
And call ourselves the Coleman duo here in
Well,
the
the
studio.
Coleman crew is
The
what
Coleman crew. The
That's gonna
Coleman
be our new
crew.
name. What's funny is I was talking to one of our clients today, and she said, I'm from Memphis. Shh, don't tell anybody. But we went to a Memphis, Tennessee game, and I had orange underneath my blue. So we lost, and I took my blue off, and I had orange on. And she
That's
said,
too
so I had to
funny.
support my home, but then I really took it off when Tennessee won. So it's pretty funny.
A lot of things going around town. Always we start the show. Thank you guys for following us. We're around town. Don't forget to like us on social media. Always got a lot of stuff going on there. We're doing those vlogs like we talked about.
Yes.
And so we did a new one this week. So if you check it out, let me know what you think. And housekeeping issues, April. Just
Yes.
start. What do we got?
We've got it. Okay, so we have a couple of price drops that we'll let you guys know about. Sequoia Hills, we did a price drop on Arrowhead, and it is $1,650,000 now, so that went down. South Lake Drive in Oneida is now $209,000. So if you're looking at any of those two places, look for those price drops. And then, of course, you keep up to date on social media, website, everything. You can see those price drops on the houses that we have listed. A couple of new listings that we have, if you missed them, it's 507 Oaken Gate out in White Pine, and it has amazing lake and mountain views. It sits on top of the hill. It's gorgeous with big, huge windows to look out and see those gorgeous views. 118 Shiloh Way. It also has lake views. It's out in Kingston. Beautiful property. And then we also have 140 Westchester Court in Avalon. So make sure that you check out those properties if that's areas that you or anyone that you know is looking for. One of our featured properties is 509 Calthorpe Lane in 37912. I want to tell you a little bit about that. It's a new construction home, never been lived in before. Absolutely gorgeous. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 1/2 bath home with over 3,400 square feet. It's carpet, hardwood, and tile. It has a 2-car garage in the front and then a 1-car garage in the back, which is really neat if you want to keep your mowing equipment and everything, so you can just pull it right out to the backyard. It has granite countertops, beautiful kitchen, large living area. It's in a cul-de-sac, really private. So it's a really great home that you should check out.
And the builder has another lot available. So if they like that subdivision as well, maybe an opportunity, bring the parents.
Oh, that'd be good.
Bring family. So it's a cul-de-sac, so there's 2 or 3 lots over there.
Okay, cool.
So convenient to halls, convenient to everything, good schools.
Yes.
And so an opportunity, you want to see that. It's a unique floor plan. And it's a great flow on that property. So
Yes.
I don't think that will last too
Really
long.
nice basement as well.
We got a new luxury listing coming up in West Knoxville, about to hit the market here in the next week or so. It's in Captain's Way. You want to look out for that. It's on the water. It's absolutely stunning. This one's not going to last long. Every upgrade, every feature you could think of. So excited to talk about that one. We'll tell you more about that coming here in the next week or so.
Yes.
So
we're getting that one prepared.
Yeah, we're preparing that one for the market. So guys are getting a jump before the spring market. I think this weather obviously is hard for a lot of people to get motivated when it's so cold. But spring is officially upon us within, I think, 57 days, 55 days before you know it. So within less than 2 months, spring market will be here.
Which means it's going to snow.
Yeah.
Because it always snows in spring.
It's going to happen. It's going to snow.
So if you're waiting for the snow, just wait till April.
And I had a client meeting just earlier this morning, and we met with them. And then the challenge is it seems like every year, guys, people are starting to get earlier and earlier on the market. Mm-hmm. And everybody wants the spring rush, but at the same time, one of my clients I was meeting with, great referral, they said, well, Ryan, I don't want to sell too quickly because my house is not being sold until May and June, or it actually being completed, sorry. And that's an opportunity to have, but I always like to get out in front of the market. Have an opportunity to have multiple different offers versus just one.
Right.
It's so, we help some great clients at La Marche's at the very end of the year. And I was chatting with this client that I was talking to today. I said, so harder to come in at the very end where it's such a push. And you have that opportunity where you just really have to push and everybody's stressed and there's so much going on in the movement. So I encourage you guys, if you're out there, if you're thinking about buying, selling, having a property to put on the market, we're having those conversations every week. We did, like I said, we went through 2 today, walk through, and it's a process, from what things we need to declutter, from what repairs we need to do to pass the inspection, and all that whole process. She said, Ryan, I'm just so overwhelmed. And I said, well, that's what you hire us for. That's what we take away all that stress. And, we can always plan to have a future date or a coming soon and when we're going to be there. So keep that in mind, guys. I know the spring market's not here, but get us out, understand values, understand pricing, what we need to do, what we can do to improve value. Me and April talk about all that time, whether it's staging, decluttering, maybe we're changing out some carpets, just minor things that give it that wow factor.
Yep.
And I say this all the time. You get a first impression is everything. And sometimes those buyers, especially in this opportunity coming out of the winter, that you got a 60-day window where there's probably going to be an increase of 25% of new inventory on the market.
Right.
And so those buyers are going to be looking. And the opportunity, if we don't come out with the right pricing, if we don't have the right presentation, the right marketing, and the agents doing the work behind it, well, you may lose those out to some of those new buyers that are coming, new properties are coming on the market.
Right.
So just keep that in mind.
And just remember, I've mentioned this before, but I am working with the buyer, and she's still looking for a house that she cannot find a house.
Poor thing.
I know.
She's a sweetheart.
I know. She's so sweet. And her price range is up to 140, and she is going everywhere to look at a house. So if you're thinking about putting your home on the market in spring and you're not really sure if you should put it on now or later, go ahead and give us a call, especially if you're in that price range, because we may have buyers waiting that are still looking from last year.
I was talking to our marketing department earlier in the week, and we've got so many buyers that we're working with that opportunity in that price range where a lot of different things are going to come on the market. We're not even going to list them. They're going to go up and they're going to go sold. So as we go forward in 2019, sellers are still a great opportunity. Yes, there's some price adjustments being made, but keep that in mind. I think still sellers can have an opportunity in the first part of the year to do really well.
Exactly.
I think.
Exactly.
That's what we're seeing all the time. Now, I know you also got some good friends of ours, Carla Long over at Genesis. We're so proud of her and all that she does to help our business, supports us. She was one of our preferred partners, obviously does all of our closings, helps all of our clients.
Yes.
We can't thank her enough for what she does for our clients. And,
fantastic.
Excellent job. But we're so proud of her. She's opening a brand new location.
Yes, she is.
Where's it at, in Clinton?
Yes, it is in Clinton. It is 125 Lennart Street. I hope I say that right. Suite 3. And she is going to be doing a ribbon cutting grand opening on February 1st from 3 to 5. So
we're going to see Carla. Are you guys out there, agents, partners, vendors? I think she's got some food, hopefully. And go in there and have a good time. Go meet Carla if you don't know Carla. And
I think that there's maybe some limited title companies in in Clinton. So now she kind of is going to expand out there.
Well, our producer's getting us going. We're always just talking. See, that's why we like the radio. We just keep talking. We've got a good show, and we're gonna jam pack a lot of information in it. We're talking about rental property, what you can do to get your investments, retirement, stock market's not always consistent. So we won't get into that now before we get to the break, but make sure you stay with us on the second part. We're talking a lot about that. We won't talk any more news. And really what you need to do to be successful owning investment properties for long-term gains, how to find tenants, how to deal with landlords, property management, evictions.
I know. It's a lot.
How to deal with some bad tenants.
Oh, yes.
You guys are listening to Real Estate with Ryan. Stay with us on this break, and we're going to catch the other side. We're talking about investment properties and what you need to know.
When it comes to the real estate market, turn to the experts that focus on you. With over 20 years experience, Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty knows what it takes. It's the right marketing. It's the right exposure. Ryan and April will use their expertise each step as they guide you through the home buying and selling process. Ultimately, it's about results.
You need someone you can trust that is committed to you.
You have a lot of choices, but the choice is simple. It's Hometown Realty.
Is it time for a new place? Ryan Coleman with Hometown Realty has the experience to sell your home quickly and help you find the right home for you. And if he can't sell it right away, he will buy it himself. Life changes, and sometimes your home needs do too. Buying or selling, turn to someone you know you can trust. Ryan Coleman at Hometown Realty.
Well, thank you for coming back with Real Estate with Ryan. We're talking about investment properties and what you need to know if you have investment income, investment properties, stock market, up, down, real estate. That's why we love selling real estate.
Should you invest?
Should you? Should you not do it?
Right.
It's not for everybody.
No.
But we really love investment. We're passionate about our product. We feel like real estate has made a lot of people quite well, or done quite well investing in real estate. It's not for everybody.
No.
And so we're going to talk about some tips that you need to know to be successful and what you need to do if you're going to buy investment property. Whether if you're buying multiple ones or if you just have one, getting started, we'll cover some of those tips, pros, cons, and what you need to do. So
right, exactly. And I think that a lot of people, how they get started is maybe they buy their starter home and they think, oh, well, I could just, I've paid off the house or I have minimal left to pay on the house. I could just keep this single family home, move up, and then use this as a rental. So I think that's how a lot of people get started.
We've done that several times. I mean, we've got several properties that we've owned by default. And guys, buying a loan or buying a house, listen to me. But, buying a house is just a process and dealing with the banks and all the paperwork and all the financial information that they want. And, it's like they give you every check in the world that you got to go through. So sometimes it's just convenience. You stay there for so long, you've got equity. It makes sense sometimes just to convert it.
Right,
so,
exactly.
I know we've done that several times. So
yes, we have.
And so it's something, if you're going to do, make sure that your affordability. I think first, let's talk about price range, rentals. And we're talking about single family. We're not going to talk about multifamily today. There's all types of investment opportunity. But we're talking about single family homes. And I'd say probably your perfect price range in the Knoxville and surrounding areas is probably $150 to maybe $225. All right. And you want to stay in that price range. One or two things is very, very important because what you pay for it, the rental market, whether it goes up, whether it goes down, you've got to be able to hold that rental rate. We go back 5 years, 6 years ago when the market's down. Now the rentals are very, very strong. So it's a funny thing when the market is, the rental market's strong here in West Knoxville all the time.
Yes.
But obviously as home ownership, the rates have been really, really low. Buyers are taking advantage, getting out of the lease and getting the American dream, getting the home ownership. And so there's a little bit of even flow with that tenants leaving. But when the market changes and corrections, a lot of people restrict and they don't purchase, and it's safer to rent. And that's where you actually see in a down market or an economy down that the rentals actually increase, and it's great for a landlord. But if you don't make the right buy and you don't make it emotionally, then there's opportunities that versus our residents that we would buy, investment is strictly about the numbers. They have to cash flow.
Yes.
So try to stay in that budget. And I always would suggest putting 20% down if you can.
Yes.
A lot of lenders are going to require that, putting 20% down. So you cash flow from the beginning.
Right.
If you could do more, that's better. but I would say 20% down gives you a good rental budget. The second step that me and April would talk about, unlike comparable sales, it's the rental market, right? So it's very hard. There's Zillow and Realtor.com and all these different sites, but they really do not reflect what is the rental market in the area, what the average rents are going for.
Exactly.
If you rented a property 5 or 6 years ago, you may be stuck in thinking it's $900 a month. But the rental markets are going up so much that they're $1,200 a month, and you're just kind of out of touch of it.
Exactly.
And really, they're not marketed well, and you can't see those online. So make sure you get either with a property manager. Make sure you do some homework with online comparable properties that are renting, similar to your square footage. And see where those school zones, I think school zones is a big divider. So if you have kids going to, let's say, a certain school district, and let's say Hardin Valley, and they're in that zone, and we know the demand for that area, you're probably going to get a premium dollar versus a different school district.
Right.
So look at all those factors.
The same with houses and buying homes.
What else do you think is important, April?
And the other thing is you need to pick the right lender, that you need to do your homework with lenders, like you were saying.
And there's so many different lenders and types, guys, that if you're going to purchase investment properties, there's portfolio lenders, like some of the big banks, they in-house do a lot of service, meaning they hold their own paper. What that basically means is, it's not a Fannie Mae, it's not a Freddie Mac product where they kind of sell it and transfer that on the marketplace. Portfolio lenders, or your smaller community banks, have a lot more different options.
Right.
Some of our bigger lenders, guys, if you have multiple investment properties like our SunTrust or Bank of America, some of the big boys, they'll restrict how many loans you can have with that investor.
Right.
I don't know the exact number, but I think when we were going 6, 7, you go to 8 in that range, and don't hold me to it. They'll start restricting how many loans you can get with Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac.
Interesting.
Where some of the portfolio lenders, it's more of a relation base. It's more that customer banking service. And so there's a lot more opportunity with them.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
encourage you to make sure you shop for your financing.
Yes.
Like anything, you want to pre-qualify and know what your options are.
Right. And not only that, do you have a lot of debt? Are you looking to have a single family home that is going to eventually, be retirement. It's going to be paid off and give you that monthly income. But how much debt do you have now? And is it affordable for you? So you have to look at those options.
And the obvious answer, of course, we're on the show, would be get with a great real estate agent like ourselves that knows the market, that understands what it takes to buy and own investment properties. Get somebody that owns multiple investment properties. That's going to relate to you guys when you're looking. They understand and have been where you're at. And if they have a heart of a teacher and they understand the process, it's going to streamline your experience. A lot of the investment properties and the deals in today's market, the good ones never hit the market, or they're very on the market for a short period of time.
Yes.
And so having a great agent in your corner with technology and systems that when the property hits the market, you know about it first, and they're well adversed to making an offer and getting it accepted, especially if it's a good deal.
Exactly.
And we've gotten a lot of deals for our clients over the years, and speed is everything. Back in the day, we used to sell a lot of these HUD houses, and there used to be really, really good opportunities. So if you guys don't know, HUD housing is Housing Urban Development. Basically, it's their REO division, and there's several different lists out there. And there's a formula for those properties that are on the market and when you can make an offer. So your agent's experience is everything in this market. And I would encourage you, that's the best step. From vendors to closings to lenders, really the next step I would do.
Yes, exactly.
What else do you think?
Well, I think that on the forefront, you need to start thinking about things like, what am I getting myself into? For us, it's kind of been a learning process. Like, for an example, if you have a single family home and you don't think about these things, but your renter leaves in the dead of winter. The dead of winter is not a great time to rent a single family home.
Sure.
So that is a difficult part. I would say moving that on to trying to put your lease up in the spring. And then that way, when the springtime comes around and the lease is up, you're ready to re-rent it.
There's peak season, just like selling homes are obviously more favorable than sometimes in renting. And, if you have your leases concurrent and always renewing them, that's important.
Yes.
make a decision. I think April and I, we're in the business. We've got a property management division, whether you're going to manage it yourself or you're going to outsource it. And make sure you interview 2 or 3 different property managers.
Yes.
Make sure you check them out. I would encourage, this sounds silly, but make sure you go by the property and maybe show some of the properties that they have and see how they conduct themselves. It's very, very important. Most people don't go to that extent, but I think it's important. It tells you a lot about the company, tells you a lot about their history. And more importantly, when you make an offer and find the right deal, make sure your agent puts the contingencies in the contract that protect you.
Yes.
A lot of these foreclosures or deals that are estate sales or deals that are below market value, sometimes they're being sold as is or they want a pretty firm price, but almost nobody buys it without an inspection or understanding what they're getting in, kind of a due diligence period.
Right.
So make sure you have that built into your contract and a reasonable closing date.
Yes, and then you also have to think, if you're buying one single family home and that's your only rental property, is it really worth to get a property management company to manage that one rental property?
I would say no. I mean, you have to, if you're just starting out, depending on what your work schedule is, depending on if you have the availability to work on it, or if you're semi-retired, and that's why it's important buying property close to your location that you can maintain. All proximity, because if something goes on where the heat goes out or something, you need to check on your property. You know the old saying, April, nobody's going to watch your money like you.
Yes.
And if you have to take it over, having that ability to be closer to your home or that rental versus being 30 minutes away.
Right. Exactly. Now it looks like we're coming up on the end. We didn't really get to talk about a lot of things that we wanted to talk about today.
We can go for days over here. We can go for days.
We should have a 2-hour show on this.
Well, we'll talk more about it, and so much going on. Busy week, starting the year off right. We thank you guys for following us every week here with Real Estate with Ryan. We try to bring you the up-to-date information in real estate and the only people you can trust in the real estate market for that news and information. If you need us, it's an easy number. It's 693-7653, or you can visit us at ryancoleman.org. You guys have a wonderful weekend. We'll hope to see you back next weekend.